What the heck is poopin', H2Os, roller bros, and unwanted attentions alike? I'm your guide Q, and welcome back to r/quityourbullshit and r/thathappened. Very excited to get back into these subreddits. They're some of my favorites, and I've got a very special edition of r/thathappened planned. I'll tell you more about that at the end of the video, but for now, let's just get into this cringe. This is an otherkin story, so prepare yourself. My name is Tumblr user. I'm currently at high school, where I'm openly pangloin kid. One day, I saw my friends approach me in school. They waved and one of them yelled very loudly. For a moment, I felt as though it was a lion, my natural predator. Instinctively, I dropped to my knees in the middle of the corridor and curled up into a ball to protect myself. My friends ran to me and asked me what was wrong. I told them, I was protecting myself since you yelled so loud. Maybe next time you should be more considerate towards preykin such as myself. I turned to notice the entire student body looking at me, and then everyone started clapping. I don't know, this one kinda comes off to me as satire because I feel like the whole everyone clapped thing is more of a meme nowadays than people actually trying to pass that off as a true thing, but I don't know, if this is actually your case, you should probably see a therapist, because if you curl up into a ball every time somebody yells, I feel like you're gonna have a very difficult time in life. What is the wildest incident that's ever happened at your school? A kid was taped under the teacher's desk for half a day, and none of the teachers noticed it. He did it willingly because he didn't want to take a test. Yeah, no. So you tried to get out of doing a test by taping yourself underneath a teacher's desk instead of just skipping school or calling out sick or something like that. Like, you're still gonna get in trouble for skipping school because by their assumption, you were not there. And so you get into a teacher's classroom after they've unlocked it, but you have enough time to have your friends tape you underneath the desk before they come back. I'm gonna let this person slide because it sounds like the sort of lie that a 12-year-old would come up with and think was plausible. Got rejected by many TV shows due to his speaking disorder. Then he started his own show, Mr. Bean, which became a global success. This is flat out false. He did 4 seasons of Blackadder before starring in Mr. Bean with no apparent speech impediment. Further proof can be found in his Johnny English series where he speaks fluently. I mean, I love the guy too, but we don't need to make up sob stories to appreciate his comic genius. I feel like viral pages are always looking for like these inspirational stories to be like, you can do it too. You can get this sort of fame even if you have something holding you back. What's your excuse? Like the whole like Lou Ferrigno was like horrendously bullied as a child for his speech impediment, but then he became this famous guy and a bodybuilder and all that stuff, and he's awesome. And like Oprah was like rejected 20 times from news networks or something like that, and then she became a billionaire. But like people are always looking for more stories like that, so it doesn't surprise me at all that some viral page would lie about this. Today, I operated on a little girl. She needed O-negative blood. We didn't have any, but her twin brother has O-negative blood. I explained to him that it was a matter of life and death. He sat quietly for a moment, and then said goodbye to his parents. I didn't think anything of it until after we took his blood. He asked, "So when will I die?" He thought he was giving his life for hers. Thankfully, they'll both be fine. So somebody commented inside of that post saying that they work in a blood bank, and that's not how it works at all. But then this person says, this was a story in one of those Chicken Soup for the Soul books that were popular in the 90s. Not only is it BS, but it's stolen BS. And this is another situation where it's just like, there are enough real inspirational stories out there. You don't have to make up something, and it just makes people lose faith in humanity when you make something up like this just for likes and attention. Alright, this one comes to us from Tumblr, and we've got a couple of these Tumblr ones, so prepare for things to get very woke very quickly. This is what Disney princesses would look like if they had realistic proportions. Okay, I don't know how to trust this person's opinion because their name is that fat phobic bitch, so let's see what happens here. Can we stop classifying realistic proportions as fat, please? Like, seriously? Do these people really think that a mermaid who swims constantly would be fat? Or a woman living in France before the French Revolution would be fat? A Native American girl who constantly runs around and maybe helps carry heavy things and hunt would be fat? Every time I see articles like this one, it makes me so mad. They boast about, oh, all these little fat girls look at these skinny princesses and hate themselves, but fail to think about how little skinny girls who hear people talk about how being skinny isn't normal or realistic and feel bad about themselves. There are two sides to every coin. Skinny and fat kids get picked on for being skinny and fat. This type of shit isn't for to little girls. It's for fat, vain adult women who feel insecure because of a freaking cartoon. This is a loaded one. I really want to hear your guys' opinion on this, and I think that the person that replied to that post did have some good points, but I think it's not good either way. I mean, it's not good for this article to say that this body picture that you're seeing in the bottom left of your screen is the normal, because there's so many different types of body types that to say that one body type is normal is just completely incorrect. I mean, when you look at the waists of the princesses themselves before they're edited, they are like very thin, like beyond what an actual human could plausibly have their waist look like, but I don't think that the article's doing anybody any favors by giving all of the characters this like curvaceous body type that's also very desirable and could be an ideal for other people. I wouldn't consider these to be like necessarily super fat. I think they're more average than the unrealistic, what you would call it, of the standard princesses. But having said that, I don't necessarily have a problem with cartoon women looking unrealistic because they are cartoons. I mean, maybe it would be good if there was a little bit more body diversity. I mean, Mulan looks a little bit less thin than the rest of them, but I just don't really have a problem with this in general. I also don't think that the article was doing anybody any favors, but let me know your opinion on this whole situation. Which do you think is right, or do you think it's just somewhere in the middle and they're both kind of wrong? Alright, so back to Tumblr, we've got some people commenting on this not like other girls picture that I've definitely seen a million times. You've probably seen it if you've seen my videos or if you've explored the r/not like other girls or nice girls subreddits, but here's the conversation. Screw special snowflakes who think like this. Girl, bye. Your ass ain't special because you don't wear makeup. You're not better than the women with large breasts who wear tank tops. You're a piece of crap because you're putting sexist stereotypes onto other women in some anti-feminine BS. If you don't like it, why'd you comment on it? I think it's awesome, and you're probably one of the girls that wears makeup and short skirts and tiny tank tops. And most kids today wear makeup because they think they aren't pretty and need it. So deal with it and get over yourself. Girl, bye. Let me tell you something. I wear tons of makeup. I wear short dresses and I walk around with a face that looks about as fake as I can get outside of a Barbie doll. I like it that way, and despite what you seem to think, no, it's not because I think I'm ugly. I just like makeup, and trust, I've spent years examining my own motivations and how they're tied to internalized self-hatred, fat phobia, and misogyny, so don't even, cause you don't know what you're talking about. I also read ravenously, engage in discourse regarding philosophy, art, economics, politics, race, gender, sexuality, make subversive art, and love comics and film and music. I'm a person is what I'm saying. Like, how deep is this goddamn image when the spine of the book just says the word book? And then she just pretty much goes on to tear down this woman's opinion even more and more and more and talk about misogyny and all that other feminist stuff, so I don't really feel a need to read all of that because it pretty much just comes down to you shouldn't judge books by their covers, and somebody can look however they want and partake in whatever activities they want, and you shouldn't like think that you're some special snowflake because you don't wear makeup when everyone else does. I don't know, it's just don't be the not like other girls girl. That's the moral of this story, and I don't think it's that deep. But let me know what your opinion on this is. Let me know if you think there's something worth defending in the motives of this image and that there's something good about setting yourself apart from all the mindless drones around you or whatever. But let's get away from Tumblr for a little while and get to something different. This is a comment on a BTS video. I played the piano when I was 2, stopped playing when I was 7. I left it sitting in a corner for 5 years. I didn't touch it, I didn't even go near it. Now it's all rusty, so bored in dirt and dust. When I turned 12, I went back to my piano and tried to play it, but I couldn't. I lost my hope in me and the courage I had. When I tried playing the piano again, my parents told me to get rid of it, but I refused. So they took a bat and started beating my piano up. I was bursting into tears and I cried for hours. I cried for days. That piano was the only thing that understood how I was feeling, so I ran away from home knowing that my dream is over, there is nothing left in me. I came back home a year later and saw my parents were gone, so I waited for them. They never came back, so I kept wishing I had my piano with me so I could play it and play the kind of music that tells people how I feel inside. 2 years later, my parents finally came back, and when they walked in the door, they saw me playing the piano. My parents looked at me and started to cry. I was crying too. I was really happy to see them. They apologized, and now I'm following my dream of playing the piano for many people, but playing music to tell them the story of my life. Thank you. This song made me cry and brought back my memories, but it made me think of Suga, and I don't know why. My piano was my first love. Suga, thank you for writing this song. It made me cry, but it really inspired me, so thank you so much, and just know I love you so much, and I'll give you all my love with all my heart. This has 137 likes, so I'm guessing that people were inspired by this story somehow. But you're telling me that you stopped playing piano for 5 years when you were 7, picked it back up when you were 12, and because of this, your parents decided to take baseball bats to this expensive piece of musical equipment, and then you ran away, somehow survived out on the streets as a 12-year-old, nobody came looking for you for some reason, and then you came back to your house, somehow got inside, I don't know if you brought a key with you when you ran away, and your parents were gone for 2 years. I'm guessing they're just really, really rich and they had another house or something like that. But then they come back. Somehow you survive as a 12-year-old in this house because somehow they have 2 years worth of food supplies or something like that. And your parents come home after you've survived all of these ordeals, and now they're happy that you're playing the piano that has been beaten with baseball bats. Like, they've completely turned around on this after realizing, oh wow, we abandoned our daughter for 3 years. I forgot she even existed. Like, this is just crazy. Yeah, so the special edition of r/thathappened that I'm considering doing that would have to be multiple parts is all based around this green text story called The Ballad of Ella. You might have heard of it, and it seems like everywhere I find it, everybody just eats up the story and says, this is the saddest thing ever. I'm crying right now while I'm reading it. And like, that's fine. Like, I'm not gonna crap on you for believing a story, but when I read it or I heard other people reading it, it just seemed like the fakest thing I've ever heard in my life. But it is like an interesting story, but it's just so far-fetched in my opinion. So let me know if you'd like to see that in the future. I might explain it more in a stream or some other place, but yeah, that's the plan for things that I'm doing. But anyway, I'm going to be streaming on Twitch tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be trying to play some Overwatch tonight, and it should be a fun time. I got a new PC, so it should work fine. I just got to get everything set up for my Twitch layout, so things might look a little bit different when you come over there. But 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, twitch.tv/yourqueue, as in the queue that belongs to you. The link will be in the description down below, along with my Twitter and my Instagram and my Amazon affiliate links for all of my equipment, so check that stuff out if you're interested. Anyway, skate on to the best of your abilities, make sure you're drinking more water, and I will see you very soon.